We'd all like to get a good night's sleep.
Yes,
particularly when you work these hours, it's not always that easy.
No,
because
it's
you've
really
got to try and get children to bed.
That's it.
And then maybe have a conversation with someone before you go to sleep.
That's it. And usually when it's, time to go to bed for us, shift workers, it's light. But the government ministers in the UK are now reportedly planning to issue guidance on how much we should sleep and should we all be getting it. Let's have a look.
Interesting.
For many of us, the idea of a solid 7 hours sleep is a distant dream. But what if you're told by ministers that's the amount you should be getting to stay healthy? Now government guidelines are expected to be brought in, advising people in different age brackets just how much they need. Sleep expert Dr. Neil Stanley has concerns about the pressure they could create.
The Americans came up with this concept called orthosomnia, seeking perfect sleep. So people are now looking at their trackers going, I must get a good night's sleep tonight. And unfortunately, that anxiety stops them from getting the very thing they're trying. So sleep is about a quiet mind, a relaxed body, rather than a sort of an anxious desire to get something better.
There's plenty of evidence about the impact lack of sleep has on our health. Women are 30% more likely to get breast cancer if their sleep's regularly disrupted by night shifts. People with insomnia are 10 times more likely to suffer from clinical depression. And consistently getting less than 6 hours of sleep can increase your risk of getting heart disease by 48%. As a man in the business of selling sleep solutions, Nazim Ghani welcomes the idea of guidelines.
Maybe that's a good thing because, on average, a person should at least have 7 to 8 hours minimum of sleep so they can have a productive day the next day, obviously.
But customer Vicky Khan isn't convinced by a one-size-fits-all solution.
I think people's needs are different, so I would say individuals probably know how much sleep they need as a result of how they feel.
It's not the first time the public's been told what to do.
There are all sorts of guidelines telling us how much alcohol, salt and sugar we should consume, for example, and how many steps we should even take a day. And within reason, there are things we can control. But ask anyone who struggles with insomnia and they'll tell you increasing the amount they sleep simply isn't that easy.
And according to Matt Kilcoyne from the think tank, the Adam Smith Institute, it shouldn't be the government's concern.
Well, let's put this idea to bed before it gets off the ground. The health secretary telling you how to live your life is quite frankly ridiculous. There's a free market in information, apps, nutritionists, your sports coach telling you how much sleep you should be getting, what you should be eating. If you're out there, and it'll be far more exactly individual to your exact needs than any piece of advice coming out of Whitehall.
Sometimes priorities can get in the way of a good night's sleep, especially if you're a Prime Minister renowned for not needing much.
I think I only had about an hour and a half sleep because it was more important to have my hair down than to have an extra hour's sleep.
But for most of us, when sleep's cut short, it can make for a hard day ahead. Emma Birchley, Sky News, on 6 hours sleep.